Hey boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and show you where you can find your assignment for math 1302 snowman expressions, and we're going to go over some problems as an example. So I'm going to go to your math course, and I'm looking for module 13, 1302 snowman expressions. The blank page icon is the lesson. Make sure you go through all 9 pages of this lesson. It shows you examples. It goes through how to complete these types of problems that you're going to see on the worksheet. So please make sure you go through each page of this lesson and do those practice problems. Your assignment is on the last page, page 9. And if you click on that printer icon, Snowman Expressions, it'll open up your worksheet. Okay. And for this worksheet, it's a 2-page worksheet. 1 through 6, you're evaluating each expression. You must show your work, as it says in the top directions, to get full credit. So you're solving these 6 problems following the steps of PEMDAS, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And make sure you show each step as you go through. And I'll do some examples for you. 7 and 8, you're looking at which step there's a mistake. So in which step does a mistake first occur? So you're going to have to look at the equation and then look at the steps that were used to solve this equation, and you need to figure out which step there was a mistake. So we'll do one together, but for 7 and 8, you're looking through the different steps that were used to solve the equations that are above, and then whatever step there was a mistake, you would write that step down. And I'll do one as an example. And then 9 and 10, you are creating an equivalent expression that includes a set of parentheses that make the value of the expression 5. Remember, you can have 2 or more numbers within a set of parentheses. So for 9 and 10, you're doing the same thing. You're putting in parentheses around numbers to create the equivalent expression. So number 9, this expression right here, 32 divided by 10 minus 8 divided by 2 minus 3, we need that to equal 5. So we're going to put parentheses around a group of numbers to make that expression correct, to make that expression equal to 5. And then for number 10, you're doing the same thing. We need 1/2 times 12 divided by 2 minus 2 plus 11. We need that expression to equal 13. So we're going to put parentheses around a group of numbers so that when we solve this equation, it equals 13. So as I said, we're going to do some of these problems together. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot 1, 3, and 5. So we'll do some of these together. As I said, we're going to do 1, 3, and 5 together. All right, so as I said, we're solving these equations using PEMDAS. So I'm going to write PEMDAS out here. P, which stands for parentheses. We're going to solve whatever's in the parentheses first. Then we move to the E, which stands for exponents. Then we do M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. PEMDAS. So these are the steps that we take in order to solve these expressions. First, we do anything in parentheses. Then we move to exponents. Then we multiply or divide. I'm going to box these two, multiply and divide, because these are interchangeable. We always just go left to right. So we don't always have to do multiplication first, then division. It can go division and then multiplication. With multiplication and division, we just move left to right. And the same thing for addition and subtraction. These are interchangeable as well. Sometimes you can do subtraction, then addition. You just go left to right. And you'll see what I mean by that when we do some of these problems together. So we're going to do number 1, 3, and 5. And with each of these, we're going to write out each step because in the directions, it wants us to show our work. So we're going to use PEMDAS to solve these equations, and we're going to show our work. All right, so we've got 32 divided by 4 times 16 times 1/2 minus 2. Well, using PEMDAS, we start with our P, which is parentheses. So anything in parentheses we solve first. Well, 16 times 1/2 is in parentheses, so we're going to solve that first. 16 times 1/2 I know is 8. And we've done multiplication of whole numbers and fractions before, so that should be a review. So I like to just write what that equals right underneath it. So 16 times 1/2 is 8. And then I like to rewrite my problem, 32 divided by 4 times, now 16 times 1/2, we already know is equal to 8, so we can leave that 8 there, minus 2. So we just did our parentheses. Is there any exponents? Exponents are those little numbers, like when we were doing like 10 to the power of 2, that 2 is an exponent. So are there any exponents here? There's no exponents. And then multiplication and division. These are interchangeable. We go left to right. So if there's division first, then we do division first. If there's multiplication first, then we do multiplication first. So let's go back down to the equation. We have 32 divided by 4 times 8 minus 2. Well, as I said, multiplication then division is in PEMDAS, but it can be division then multiplication. We go left to right. So if we're starting at the left side of our equation and we're going right, what comes first? Division, then multiplication. That's okay. We're going to solve left to right. Okay, so 32 divided by 4 is 8. And again, I like to write what it equals underneath, times 8. And I leave the rest of the equation the same. I'm showing each of my steps. Okay, so 32 divided by 4 gives us 8. And then I just continued with the equation, times 8 minus 2. Okay, now I solve using PEMDAS. We did our division because it came first. Then we look, is there multiplication? There is. So then we solve our multiplication. 8 times 8, which is 64. And then we write the rest of our equation, minus 2. So then we just did our multiplication. And then we're left with addition and subtraction. Again, we just go left to right. Whatever comes first, we solve. So it looks like there's no addition here. So then we do our subtraction. 64 minus 2 is 62, which is our final answer. We did our subtraction. So this equation, 32 divided by 4 times 16 times 1/2 minus 2, is equal to 62. Okay, and that's solving using PEMDAS. Let's do another example. Number 3. 1/2 times 6 times 4 divided by 3 plus 2. Okay, again, we're going to use PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, to solve this equation. So we start with P for parentheses. Is there any parentheses? There are. 6 times 4 is in parentheses, so we're going to solve what's in the parentheses first. 6 times 4 is 24. And then again, I like to rewrite my equation. Okay. All right, so now I've got 1/2 times 24 divided by 3 plus 2. We did our parentheses. Now, E for exponents. Are there any exponents in this equation? There are not, so we can cross that out. Then multiplication and division. Whatever comes first when we're solving left to right. Okay, it looks like multiplication comes first in this problem. 1/2 times 24, and then we have divided by 3 plus 2. So we're going to solve that multiplication first because we go left to right. 1/2 times 24. I know in my head, when I multiply a whole number times a fraction, we've covered that before. I know that that is 12. 1/2 times 24 is 12 divided by 3. And I like to rewrite the problem, plus 2. So we just did our multiplication. Next is our division. Is there any division? There is. 12 divided by 3. which is 4. And again, I like to rewrite or continue writing the expression out. Did our division. Then we do our addition and subtraction going left to right. 4 plus 2 is 6. So our final answer is 6. We did our addition. There was no subtraction. Oops, I can cross that out. There was no subtraction. So 1/2 times 6 times 4 divided by 3 plus 2 is 6. All right, we've got one more we're going to do together, and then we'll move on to the other problems. All right, so now we're looking at using PEMDAS, 28 divided by 7 plus 6 divided by 3 times 1/2. Now this one's a little bit different. This one has 4 different numbers in the parentheses. So we've got to start by solving what's in the parentheses first. Okay, so looking inside the parentheses, we have 28 divided by 7 plus 6 divided by 3. Okay, so there's a lot inside this parentheses that we have to solve. So we have to continue to follow PEMDAS. Are there any exponents? Nope. Multiplication or division. There is there is division. I don't see any multiplication inside the parentheses, but there is division. So we're going to solve the division problems first. 28 divided by 7 is 4. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Notice I did this and then this. So I'm solving 2 separate division problems. And then what are we doing with those 2 answers of those division problems? We're adding them together. Notice that addition symbol in between. And there's still parentheses around the whole entire thing. We still have these parentheses around the whole entire expression here. So we still need to solve what's inside these parentheses. But I'm going to finish writing out the equation. So now we've got 4 plus 2 in the parentheses times 1/2. So we're going to solve what's inside of the parentheses. 4 plus 2, which is 6. That gets rid of our parentheses now, times 1/2. So let's kind of just check our PEMDAS. We did what's in the parentheses. There was no exponents. We did our multiplication inside the parentheses. We did our division. I'm sorry, there was no multiplication inside the parentheses. We did our division inside the parentheses. We just did our addition that was inside the parentheses. I don't see any subtraction, so we don't have to worry about that. And so now we just solve left to right. This is multiplication. So 6 times 1/2 is 3. So 28 divided by 7 plus 6 divided by 3 times 1/2 is equal to 3. So this is using PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Just keep in mind, multiplication and division can be interchangeable. You just go left to right when you're solving the equation. Same with addition and subtraction. It can be interchangeable. You just solve left to right. All right, so that's 1, 3, and 5. All right, now we're going to take a look at number 7. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that one. Now at this one, we're going to take a look and see where the mistake is. So there's a mistake somewhere somewhere in solving this problem or this equation, and we need to figure out where that mistake is. So we're looking at this equation. We're going to still follow PEMDAS. So we need to see where is the mistake following PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So let's take a look and see what they did. First, let's see here. They did 8 divided by 2 plus 3 times 1. All right, so it looks like they might have solved something in our equation first. 3 times 3 minus 2 is in our parentheses. So let's see if they solved that correctly. So we do whatever's in the parentheses first. There's no exponents in the parentheses. So then we look at doing multiplication or division. Remember, those are interchangeable. There is multiplication here. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 2. So that's what should be in the parentheses. Let's see what they have in the parentheses. They have 3 times 1. Okay, so it looks like what they did is they did the subtraction first. 3 minus 2 would get you 1, and that would give you 3 times 1 in your parentheses, but that's not correct. Inside your parentheses, you still have to follow PEMDAS. They should have done the multiplication first. So for number 7, this one's pretty easy. They made a mistake in step 1. So you would write step 1 is where the mistake is. Okay? So you're going to do the same thing for number 8. You're going to walk through each step and see where you got, where this person, whoever did the equation, went wrong. Okay? And then numbers 9 and 10, you are working on these equations to make the value of the expression equal to what they have for you. So number 9, they want the expression to equal 5. They want this expression to equal 5. And for number 10, they want this expression to equal 13. So I'm going to screenshot both of these. I'm only going to help you with one, but I do want to just kind of point out what you're doing here. So with number 9, they want the expression to equal 5. And number 10, they want the expression to equal 13. I'm getting those numbers right in the directions right here. So for number 9, we're going to do together. Create an equivalent expression that includes a set of parentheses that make the value of the expression 5. Remember, you can have 2 or more numbers within the set of parentheses. So what they want us to do for these two problems is they want us to input the parentheses to make the expression equal to this number they're giving us. So they want the expression equal to 5. So I need to put parentheses around 2 or more numbers to make this expression true. So we need to look at figuring out where to place these parentheses. So let's see here, 32, let's say we put the parentheses here, 32 divided by 10. Okay, well that's not going to give us a whole number. That's going to end up giving us a number with a decimal. So I don't think that's where they would put the parentheses. Let's see if we put the parentheses around the 10 and the 8. Let's see what would happen there. Well, 10 minus 8 is 2. And then we can rewrite our expression, 32 divided by 2, which is what's in the parentheses, 10 minus 8, divided by 2 minus 3. Okay, so following PEMDAS, let's see if we can get this expression to equal 5 now. We're going left to right. We've got division here first. So 32 divided by 2 would get us 16. 16 divided by 2 minus 3. Again, we've got division next. 16 divided by 2 is 8 minus 3. And then 8 minus 3 gets us 5. Oh, is that the same as what they want the expression to be? Yes. So where do the parentheses need to be to make this expression equal to 5? Around the 10 and the 8. Okay, so for number 10, you're doing the same thing. You're going to need to put the parentheses around a group of numbers to make this expression true. Now, I will give you a hint. When you do number 10, you're going to need to put a parentheses around 3 numbers. So when you put the parentheses around, you need to figure out what 3 numbers do you need to put those parentheses around to make the equation equal to 13. What I would suggest doing is do trial and error, just like I did before. First, I did 32 divided by 10 right up here in the parentheses, and that didn't work. So try putting the parentheses around the 3 numbers. Do trial and error and see if you can figure it out to make the expression equal to 13. Okay, so just remember that hint. You need to put the parentheses around 3 numbers. Here I put it around 2, but I'm telling you right now, in number 10, you're going to need to put the parentheses around 3 numbers. Okay, all right. That is your assignment for 13.2, Snowman Expressions. When you're done, you'll go to the next activity tab. You'll click on that blue plus button and submit your work.